Are you videotaping, Tom, are you videotaping?
Yes, I'm videotaping
Make the
today.
announcement, please.
Okay, well, I gave you that letter. Yeah, I'm
Don't
videotaping
care
the
about
meeting.
letter. Make the announcement, thanks. I call motion the April 22nd, Exeter Board of Supervisors meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you kindly do the attendance?
Supervisor Diacon,
Present.
Supervisor Spees,
Here.
and Supervisor DeSaris.
Here. Okay, a quick announcement. This Wednesday, open to the public on April 24th. We're going to be interviewing many of the candidates that put in their name for supervisor. I think 12 or 13 folks. So it's going to be open to the public 6:30. There's going to be groups of 3 groups, 6:30 to 7. I think 7 to 7:30 and 7:30 to 8. Some people are in this room. Thanks for putting in your name. And the 3 of us, Vinny, myself, and Dave, will be interviewing you for about 15 minutes, and we'll look to appoint somebody for Robin's seat. If we don't agree, because there's only 3 of us, then it'll be the next step in the process. So thanks again, and look forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday. And again, that meeting is open to the public. Next is presentations. I think Laurie's going to do the website and logo changes.
So I'm very excited to present to everyone tonight with our concept for the new township logo. This is something that we've been working on for quite some time. We're just looking to make an update and get a fresh new look to our website, which I will show everyone in a few minutes. So when we started looking at redoing the logo, we talked for a long time and tried to pick out different aspects and elements from around the township that we thought would go into representing all that Exeter Township has to offer. I didn't put the landfill on there. Maybe we can add that in, that trash. So the first thing that we chose to include is an image of a tree. And important to note that this is an image of a younger tree. And the thing we liked about the tree is that it symbolizes a lot that we think represents the thoughts and feelings that we have about the township. So it signifies growth, strength, nature, new life, and strong roots. All things that we think are important to representing Exeter Township. And the next thing that we came up with when we were thinking about what aspects of the township to include is the river. So we have the Schuylkill River running through our township, and we think that that's a huge asset to us. This is a modern interpretation of the river, and the river in the logo is signifying connectedness, and it's also a natural resource that we're lucky to have access to. The Exeter Scenic River Trail, many of you know about and utilize pretty frequently. I use it myself on a very frequent basis, so that's a huge asset we have in our township, and it also serves to connect us to other communities. You can hop on the Exeter Scenic River Trail and get on the SRT and take it miles in either direction. So it really serves to connect us to the rest of Berks County and to other surrounding areas as well. So the next thing that we felt was important to include is community. We can't do any of these things without the support of the community behind us. So it was important for us to represent not only just the residents, but also the businesses. And we did a modern interpretation of the community in the diagram here, just to show prosperity, growth, economic development, and it represents the commercial and the residential and the industrial sides of the township. So this is the logo all put together. So all of the elements rolled into one. The idea here, and I just did a little short write-up for it, is to demonstrate that with our community behind us, our connections to those around us, and the roots that ground us, our growth will continue to lead us into the future with prosperity and strength. So that's the new logo. At least the proposed new logo, I should say. I wasn't waiting for applause, I swear. Phil.
Dave, any comments?
I think it looks great.
Can you pull it back up, just on the,
Yeah.
Will, you just put it up?
Yeah.
So we have multiple versions of it as well. I wanted to show the color version, but we also have it in just white. We can also have it in black and white. So depending on what we're putting it on, it may look better in one of those formats. And I'll show you on the website too. The really cool thing about this, and the reason I wanted to show it in the presentation the way that I did, is that each aspect of the logo we can pull out and use for different purposes. So I just think it's really cool to be able to incorporate the different aspects that represent different things, depending on what we're doing.
Yeah, I personally love it. I think it's clean. I think it's modern. I think it's gets us out of the '70s. I think it's really nice, and I think it shows something that we've needed for years. I think we did rebrand the township, and I think it's pretty cool. Dave,
I like it better than the old one.
So we'll need a motion, guys, to approve the logo.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, Laura, you're going to talk
Thank
about
you.
the
Yes, I'll
website.
show you the website. So, this is the next exciting thing that we're working on. So this is the concept for the new township website that we have been working on for quite a while. Turns out it is very challenging to make a new website, so this has taken a lot of revisions. So you'll see, and I wanted to show you the logo first because the logo is incorporated in different aspects throughout the website. So you'll see the logo in the top left-hand corner. This is the home page that you'll navigate to, and this is just a still image. We don't have the final version yet, so you're just seeing a still image here, so you're not going to see any of the interactive pieces, and it's not fit to the screen the way it would be if we were just navigating to the website. But the image at the top there is actually going to be video footage. It will be drone footage throughout the township, showing the different things that the township has to offer in different residential areas and just some of the roads. And then as you scroll down through the website, just gonna let Bill scroll. So the navigation bar at the top that you see that says Exeter Township on it, has the tree from the logo in it. So that's a really cool thing that we're able to carry the theme of the website throughout it. And at the bottom of this screen, you can see where the line that cuts below the live, work, play aspect, that represents the river from the logo as well. And the bar at the top will stay static as you scroll through the website. It's not going to do it right now, again, because it's just a PDF version of the website. But the live, work, play, we wanted to incorporate so that we can really push all of the different things that the township has to offer and put it in kind of a really cool and modern format so that anyone who comes to our website will be able to easily access all of the information and the great things that we have to offer. These are stock images at this point. They will be updated once we get some new photos to incorporate onto the website. And so this section is designed to make it really easy for everyone who goes to the website to find out what's going on quickly. So the event calendar there any date that has something happening on it will be in a different color. So you'll know that you can click on it and find out what it is. There will also be a short summary. So the next upcoming 1 or 2 things will show on the front page of the website so you know. So if you check out our website, you won't miss anything. We'll also be updating the news and announcements frequently. So anything that we want to get out to the township will be shown there. Easily accessible and kind of right there in your face. So anything that we're trying to get out will be easily accessible.
Excuse me, will the dates be color coded like township supervisors
We
need
do
one
have
color?
We do have a plan to make the
Okay.
events in different colors.
That's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
There's the teacher in this. so.
Yep, that is absolutely, this is just them. But yes, there's,
Oh, yeah, in Spanish.
Yeah, I'll try to put it in English before we go live.
You need to translate it.
All right, I might. And then at the top here, you'll see these are just the quick link buttons, just a modern portion of the website, so you can click on any of those to get to any of the township departments. When you hover over it, it turns the green color. That's why you see streets and highways highlighted in green there. So it's just another way to access the departments if you didn't want to use the drop-down menu. And then this part here is really cool, and I'm excited about it because this will pull all of our social media right to our front page, and it updates in real time. So if you come onto our website and I've posted something on the Facebook page, maybe something that doesn't necessarily go on the website, you'll be able to get to it right from there. And even if you're not on social media, you can still see what the posts are that are coming up. And you can navigate through each one of our social media pages right from here. And then at the bottom here is something that I'm really going to push, which is signing up for our e-newsletter once this launches. We do print and mail out the Township Newsletter now, but I'm hoping to be able to use this as a way to be able to email the newsletter out to people, maybe in lieu of printing it, or just to make sure that everybody gets it and anyone who wants it has access to it. So that's it for the main page. And this is just an example of what an interior page may look like. So assuming this is the Parks and Rec page where you can rent facilities, we'll have just the big picture at the top, and then when you navigate down, it has, so it has the same navigation bar at the top, and then here's where you'd find all of your information, and we'll have photos up there. And on the left-hand side is where you'll be able to navigate to any of the other things, like renting a pavilion, or finding out about any of our summer programs, or anything of that nature. But you can see that the theme from the logo carries throughout. That is actually the tree that's in the background there. So we're really trying to pull all of those aspects and have it be cohesive and just a fresh look on everything. That's it.
Lori? And in the very beginning, you had pictures of houses.
Mm-hmm.
I still think, because I've lived here a long time, when people think of Exeter Township, they still think of the country club. I'm sorry, I know we have problems with that.
Yeah, that'll be a picture. Again,
This is that, yeah.
it's one picture.
Yeah.
There'll be pictures of
But
other things.
It's Exeter's keystone. That's how people know Exeter, is that country club. And I know that.
Yeah, there's other things too, so it'll be incorporate everything.
Yeah, but it is just like when you think of Riceton, you think of the bus stop. I mean, people associate landmarks with places. It's not Sheets gas station.
That's for sure.
Let's talk about the website, guys.
But it's
I just wanna know where Lori was 3 years ago. I mean, really, since I've been coming to meetings, they've been talking about this website, so it's actually nice to see it coming together, so.
What's your conservative timing for go live?
So the design is done at this point. We're working on content migration. I would say another 2 months, we could be ready to launch it. Might be sooner, but it just depends on how long it takes to get our current stuff over, just to make sure everything
Hey, great job, Lori. You, your team, I know Will's been involved and
Yes.
some of the other staff members, but you guys knocked it out of the park, I think. I think it's beautiful. I love the way the branding is, and I'm a big branding guy, and as you see with May Day, some of the stuff that I'm doing, everything connects.
Yeah.
So I just like, it's not gonna rain. So I just like having it connected with the website and the logo. Just a wonderful job, John, you and the team.
Thank you, yes, we have, yes, Will and I have worked a lot on this and looked at many different iterations of colors, and we only drove the company a little bit crazy with our demands.
Are you gonna post that on the website tomorrow? That presentation?
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
sure.
Okay.
Jason, question?
Curiosity, is this the same company that was approved like a year or two
No,
ago?
we
went-
covered them, yeah.
Okay.
One more question.
Does the new one show, I couldn't see, when the township was founded?
History of the
That
township.
is not, it's not on the main page, but there will be a history of Exeter Township portion to the website. but it's not on the, it's not in the logo, it's not on the main page.
Yeah, it's a positive change. So I know change is difficult, but I think this is a really exciting thing for the township. We'll need a motion to approve the website.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Great job, Lori.
Thank you.
Next, we have one public comment on agenda items. Linda?
Oh, hi. Yeah, it's me again, it's me again. A number of years ago.
Just want to get a code. Just give your name and address again. We have it, but just for the record.
Okay, Linda Pfister, 34 Beechwood Drive, a 50-year resident.
Get the microphone.
Vinny, make sure that's on.
Make sure it's on. It's on. Make sure it's on.
Oh,
Because
hi.
I'm loud
Now
enough
we
that I
can
don't.
hear you.
Okay, thanks. Again, you want me to say who I am?
Yes.
Okay, Linda Pfister, 34 Beechwood Drive, and I'm a 50-year resident. Okay, I like the work on 422 that's being done. It's difficult, you know, making turns and things, but, and I also spoke last meeting about the sewer. Now, before we bought this Reading area country club, they were going to put the 520 homes in there. But the sewer system, they didn't think would have the capacity at that time for it. So I see the selling of the sewer system to American Water, they'll upgrade that system. Probably to accommodate a bunch of homes that might go on that piece of property, the
Yeah.
Reading Country Club.
Yeah, there's no, again, not this,
Nothing.
this board has no intention of ever putting homes there.
Okay,
No.
and I'm glad to hear that, because the township bought that to prevent those homes being put in.
And you could argue that the homes would have never been built, but that's an argument we could have
No, but
another
that's
night.
okay.
Yep.
But I'm glad to hear that there is a meeting next week, and I was gonna ask, were there other meetings when you guys
With
meet?
the meeting next week for,
Next Wednesday, I'm sorry, this Wednesday.
just Wednesday, the interviews for the two empty chairs there.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I'm glad that's open to the public.
Yes.
And I was wondering if the township supervisors get together to speak about things.
No, it's all to be in public. There's things we do in executive session, like Sam will talk about today, but that's all minimal. It's with legal issues, but what you see here is what it is. There's not hiding anything.
We can talk individually to each other, we don't have to avoid each other, but we can never have three of us together discussing things.
Right, okay.
Yeah, like I could call Dave on something, I could call Vinny on something, but the three of us never get together and talk about something that's not in executive session.
You know, I
related.
had something on Nextdoor, which is a web page.
Facebook
I'm sure
or
all you guys
social
read.
media.
Yeah. And they were talking about if we had larger, bigger meetings, that they could hold them at the Dunn Center or in the library.
Yeah, but you can see tonight where it's perfect. It's nice and cozy, there's empty
It is
chairs.
perfect.
I brought one.
And also I want to
Good.
mention that there's a police fundraiser at DQ, is that tonight?
That is tonight.
It is.
Yeah, we're,
And, you know, I was gonna encourage everybody to go there.
we're excited about, I'm gonna try to get there actually, depending
And
on
me too.
how long you talk.
I wanted to bring it up in case somebody didn't know about it, okay? To encourage everybody to go.
Yeah, it's 6 to 8 o'clock at Dairy Queen. It's for the Law Enforcement United, which is a great group that does the bicycles. And if anybody could get there right after this meeting, have an ice cream cone and go see a lot of our great cops, that would be awesome. Thank you, Linda, for bringing that up. Really appreciate it.
Okay.
And thank you for
Just
being
one more thing.
involved in the community.
The building, the old giant building.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys remember when they wanted to buy, the building on Never Sink.
The school district.
Oh, that was the school district.
That's the school district, yeah, not the township.
But the township is looking to buy the giant,
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
and they're not gonna make any decisions on that tonight,
It's an agenda item for tonight, yes.
but they're not gonna make decisions? Are you gonna?
We have a vote tonight, yes.
Okay, well, too late for that one. Because it's a big space for the number of employees that we have.
Well, you'll see how it's all gonna come together.
Okay.
We're gonna schedule a town hall next month and show you where we're going, and you'll be excited.
I was just wondering how many square feet each employee gets in a situation like that, because that was.
Yeah, we'll get into detail a little bit later.
Problem with the building on,
market, I don't know if you were here then, that Al Bosco, when they wanted to buy that building,
Which-
stood up and said.
Which building, the promenade?
Never sink.
Oh, the Never Sink, yeah.
You said you wanna see how to utilize space, I'll show you how to utilize space.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, no, we're excited to show you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you again for the time and being involved. Next, regular approvals, minutes, March 11th, 2019.
I just want to make an amendment on that. There was a resident that had said that he was for selling and building houses, and I think that it would say for not for selling and building houses.
So the 11th or the 25th, the 11th?
For the 11th meeting. That's the only amendment. So I would like to make a motion to approve upon, subject to making that amendment.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? So we're gonna make the motion.
Motion to amend and then make a motion to approve the amendment.
Okay, so make a motion to amend the minutes.
Motion to amend the minutes.
I'll second that. I'll make a motion to approve the amended minutes.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And that was a vote for both motions.
March 11th.
Right. Two minutes.
March 25th minutes, gentlemen.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next item is the Treasurer's Report, March 2019.
Make a motion to approve the March 19 Treasurer's Report subject to auditing.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, disbursements.
Make a motion to approve the disbursements.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, John, old business, consider granting ARS Realty Land Development Plan approval.
Just at our last planning commission meeting on April 15th, planning commission received revised preliminary plans for the ARS Realty. This is a site located along Perkiomen Avenue. I believe it was a food market or at one point years ago. It's being repurposed into a office establishment, which it does meet the zoning requirements of the Township Commons. We reviewed the plans that were prepared by Carson Limited Liability Company. Our letter was dated April 12th, and it was presented at the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission made a motion to approve the preliminary plan contingent upon meeting the outstanding items as outlined in our review letter dated April 12th, 2019. And just to pinpoint a few highlights, the applicants required a highway occupancy permit. They will be dedicating ultimate right-of-way to the township. This additional right-of-way will be used towards our street enhancement project. Existing sign bases will need to be removed in the area where the proposed sidewalk will be located as part of our street enhancement. And the remaining comments would be demonstrating approval for erosion, sedimentation, and pollution control, and addressing any other comments that PennDOT may have with respect to the proposed access and highway occupancy permit. We recommend that the board, they approve the preliminary plan so the applicant can proceed to final contingent upon meeting the review comments as outlined in our review letter dated April 12th.
I'd recommend, if the board so chooses, I'd recommend that they direct the solicitor administration to prepare a resolution granting preliminary plan approval. And the resolution would state the requirements contained in Joe's letter. It leaves a trail in terms of what are going to be waived, what is to be done. It's a little more formal than just a letter. And the resolution could be considered at the May 13th board meeting.
Make a motion to prepare that resolution.
I will second that.
Any further discussion, guys? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, John, approve the Trout Run Master Plan.
Mr. Chairman, the board has before it a request from the administration to approve the Trout Run Master Plan. It's been before the board several times, developed over a period of months with the advisory committee of the community. There's been no changes since it came up to the last public hearing, so about a month ago, and recommend the board approve the plan.
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, accept offer of Sparrow Asset Back Series 2012 LP to purchase land located at the Promenade Shopping Center, subject to solicitor negotiation and drafting an agreement of sale acceptable to the board and authorizing the solicitor to begin such work. John?
Mr. Chairman, this is the Promenade Shopping Center. The board directed the administration to enter into negotiations with the owner to purchase the property. We've reached a agreement on a notice, letter of intent. The purchase price would be $2,537,500, which is the maximum the township can offer the piece of land under the second-class township code. There's some other requirements that have to be done. The solicitor's office could prepare the agreement sale, and the objective here would be to move the township building, highway garage, the fire station, the ambulance service onto that parcel.
And a police, right?
Everybody goes.
Police district judge as well.
District justice as well, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I think comments, I mean, it's probably seems strange to some people. You wrap your head around this and look out, 3, 5, 10 years. The way I look at it, there are two pieces of property. We already own property where we're sitting on here. We have our police station here. We have 2 fire departments spread out. Fire departments are, if you go visit them, in desperate need of repair. Our police department, as
The new chief
can tell us, if you take a tour of that facility, it's in bad repair. There's not enough space in there. So when you look at the value of property and you think of this purchase price, some of the data I have seen that this site is worth more than the Promenade Center. This site is not big enough to do what we want to do. So if you look out a few years, I don't look at it as spending a lot of money. You're buying an option to move all your facilities to one location to an area that is not being well utilized now. You can sell this piece of land and recoup basically your money, and there's other businesses that would rather have been asking to be in this area rather than up there. So my rationale, I mean, I think it's a good plan if we're gonna have everyone at one location, upgrade our facilities rather than 5 years from now build a police department, 5 years from now build a new fire department, then a new township building. It's a multi-year plan that could incorporate community centers.
What we want to do is
other things, but the community would be involved in that. This is a multi-year process to design and move forward, but it's really taking the first step as, in my view, of looking at a piece of property that could actually accommodate us in the right location where this couldn't. And I think, John, if you agree, I mean, this property is equal or more valuable than that current estimate of value.
This site is much too valuable without the township building on. Same thing with all the public uses here with the property that we own. It is a site that we've been approached by some people over a period of time to, if you're gonna move home, you might be interested. I think if the board considered at a later date, I would ask you to amend the RFQ you're having out for the use of Ready Country Club, maybe to add this site to it, just so you're already getting people here, and it may add value to the people who are looking to do something in the Ready Country Club, because they know this site could be available also. The two things we have heard, I've heard, and the board has heard as well, is the public wants to have age-restricted housing, and they want to have a community center. This site is a perfect site for age-restricted housing. Not single-family units, but vertical building. And it's adjacent to a nice facility where there's green space. You can walk to the shopping center. It's also a good site for restaurants. This site has a lot of potential uses to it, and I think you need to go to the marketplace and say, this site's available in 3 or 4 years from now. Let's have some conversation for it. And I think when you look at the conversation you're going to have on the use of the Reading Country Club, I think it brings a different character to that conversation. It's going to be a golf course. This site can complement that golf course very well.
So we'll let us two talk, then we'll ask a couple questions from the audience. So I see it as two, what Dave said is that, we look at it as a swap, not that we're buying the land there, is that nobody wants to be up there. We've had many companies just not want to go there because of how to get there to the old Giant. So by putting a township building up there, police, fire, ambulance, a community center where there's basketball courts, where there's a running thing for Jeff to run around at the top there that he always talked to me about. So we want to build something there, and then put, the restaurants that the old age homes could go here. That's how you guys have to look at it, that look 3, 5, 10 years from now. And I think that's going to be that if you have age restricted homes, they could go to a restaurant at the country club, they could golf, they could walk to Target, they could do a multitude of things. So that's kind of how we have to look at it, is not now, you guys have to start thinking 3, 5, 10 years from now, which is something this township has not done in the past.
So, and so now Wendell, I don't want to put you on the spot per se, but you're new. So, I mean, I love the fact that you moved out of the trailers and in with the guys, but is there a lot of room for you? Did you have to create a space?
We have to create space over there. Some of the concerns, of course, that we have is our evidence room, which is here, is running out of space. We need a larger evidence room. There's nationally recognized standards that we have to adhere to, so we need additional space. Currently, all of our officers, our sergeants and the street officers, all share a desk. So they, not a single desk, but we try to stagger their shifts, so not at the same desk at the same time. But if that occurs, then you could have 2 to a desk. So again, we're running out of space in regards to that. We have a holding facility here that needs repairs or needs to be replaced. These are all things that could be addressed in a future building project.
Sure. And I know one of the concerns that when I took the tour, I mean, I gotta admit, I was very impressed with what you do with how little space they actually have. And I think the biggest thing there was that they were saying it would be nice to have a room. Like if a resident comes in with a complaint and there's no place to talk, they talk out front. If another person comes in, they're talking in front of that person, and it's so even that, and and again, we could even have a nice big room where if we had a big meeting, we can have it, so definitely have a lot more room. So no, I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of concerns about it, but like I said, if you're looking for the future, and that's the biggest point, that it's been trying to get rented out, and there's just no anchor store there. And to say about I don't know how true it is, and what they're saying about the wastewater treatment plant, but I was told by a guy who used to own all of what Target and all that was, that there's that the wastewater treatment plant has plenty of capacity, that it would have handled that. I'm not saying that one of the houses there, but that it would have handled it. But again, I don't know 100%, but I'm going off what he said as well. Again, hearsay.
We'll take a couple questions. You want to just go to the podium, and Michelle, you want to go first?
Supervisor Viacom is correct.
Michelle, just your name and address.
I'm Michelle Kircher, 1101 Stonehenge Drive. Supervisor Viacom is correct. The wastewater treatment plant does have plenty of capacity. I was on the wastewater treatment plant for 17 years from the day it was built. Second, how many appraisals did you have on the building, on the shopping center up there?
2.
2? You should have 3. And what did you say the price was that you were going to pay for it?
$2,537,500.
Okay, did you look at, you wanna put all these buildings up, have you really figured out the space you're gonna need? Community center sounds great, but look at the amount, you're gonna have the police in there, and I know the police need more room, they needed it back when I was in there. I'm not gonna argue that, but when you consider all the police.
We actually, the one meeting actually had it up already,
Well,
initial sketch.
I'd like to look at that, because
Yeah,
we're
it's
talking about
on the
community
website.
center, which everyone knows we know that we need a bigger place for meeting rooms. There's not enough parking up there, and you talk about having all those places combined, and try and use the exit, one exit, to really get out of there, because you can only turn right up at the upper exit. You cannot turn left and cross the double highway. It is not a good option for the township to go into a place like that for planning. And you talk about, when you go out at that traffic light, have you talked to PennDOT about the timing of the light? Joe?
I'm not aware of any discussions with PennDOT on that traffic light.
I'm just trying to be practical, because I've been through here. They should have never built this addition the way they built it.
I agree.
And buying that house across for the district justice there was the smartest thing they ever did, because they have tripled, quadrupled their money for what they paid for it, for the amount of rent they get from the county. So I think before you keep jumping in all of these projects, you really have to stop back and take a look at what you're doing and see where all this money is coming from, and that you make the right choices and you don't make mistakes that were made before.
And I think, you're right, and I think with the sewer plant sale, I think you're gonna see in our next meeting, we're gonna do a town hall about how everything fits together.
But it's not a done deal yet. I think you have to take more time in planning. I've been through a lot of planning, and I think you need to sit back and really look at everything very carefully before more mistakes aren't made. And I'm not condemning anything you're doing. I'm just know from all the years
From your mistakes.
Not from my, excuse me, not from my mistakes. I wasn't involved in planning here. It is to make sure that you're doing the right thing for the residents.
Understood.
It's not the right thing for any of you here, you're doing for yourself. You gotta remember, you're responsible to these residents, every one of them.
I'm very involved in the community.
But, you know, to say about the parking and exiting, well, I remember, you know, because I've been living up here for 20-some years, when Giant was in there, it was packed capacity. So you would have probably more cars when it was fully packed than what it would be when it's gonna be a township and Rex, or maybe just as much, but I'm saying, and everybody got out fine. Everybody did what we had to do.
I'm here almost 50 years. I've seen this from nothing growing up, and I know how packed it is, just as bad as the new shopping center is. So,
We're trying to get some others to talk.
okay, just take your time and quit jumping, don't jump into things so fast.
One of the things I directed Mr. Granger to do was to do a town hall in a month or two and kind of do what you just said, how it's all gonna come together.
You're making all these decisions, so make sure you have all the answers.
Mr. Staub, wanna talk? Just give your name and address, Joe.
Joe Staub, 5010 Club Drive. Two questions. One, is it the entire facility up there?
Yes,
The entire?
including the front,
What about Blockbuster?
the Radio Shack.
We can't get our
We can
videos
open it.
now? We can't get our videos now?
Joe, there's one Blockbuster, still open. Yeah. Still open, one
What
Blockbuster.
about the other side with the dry cleaner, and, is that part of it?
It includes the entire shopping center
Okay,
and the Radio Shack building.
okay.
It does not include the Health West building.
Or the bank, there's a solid bank for sale.
They are not part of the process. They're not part of that site.
But with those still operating, would we be landlords?
I've talked with nearly all of the businesses that were still there.
Mm-hmm.
They all want to stay there. We want them there. When we acquired property, we're not changing their leases. The rent payment will stay the same, and they will be involved in the process about the whole design process as much as anyone else. They want to stay there, so we want to the board would want to accommodate them. It's just a matter of where they're gonna go, and then negotiations on leases and all that stuff will happen, you know, when it rolls.
This is an undivided subject to the leases. The last thing then is, you're talking $2.5 million.
Right.
Is, do you have the plans in place for borrowing or using capital reserve?
We're using,
And then,
using cash right now. At some point in time, we'll have to go and borrow some money at some point. It won't be right away. But we use on-hand cash to purchase the site, and within the next year or so, we probably roll it into capital planning for the entire site.
And I'm assuming any type of a percentage of contingency for overrun or
But
improvements?
that's like 2 years down the road. We haven't given any thought yet to the site layout. The next step would be for the board to do an RFQ for architects, retain an architect, and you can start having the conversation on what use goes where on the site. It's not gonna, we're not gonna have one big building, we have several buildings on the site.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
I
Jeff.
think rough expectations, this site's about, or that site's about double the size of this site, but this is almost equal or higher value.
Black site's a little more than 16 acres, this site here is about 7-ish, so it's a little more than double the size of this site. Has 2 accesses, this has, I guess, 2 as well.
I'm really glad that we're working with the local businesses to stay, you know, as far as to help them. You know, some of them have been there for a long time, that's their livelihood, you know.
Jason, you have a question? What's your
Jason Mel, 401 Pathfinder Drive. The,
Thank you.
I put an S on first Mel. The,
Your address again,
can you hear me? So the one.
Address real quick.
Oh, 401 Pathfinder Drive.
Thank you.
So the one thing I just wanted to get clarification on was the car wash and the Monroe muffler, all that is not a part of this purchase?
They
They are a part of this
Every
purchase?
building there
Okay,
in the shopping center is part of the purchase.
okay.
The health waste, the former health waste building is not.
And the bank is not?
That bank is not.
Okay. The other question I was gonna ask was, do we know what the loss in tax revenue would be?
I don't have that calculation.
Okay, so we don't know what we're making in taxes now in terms of municipal taxes in addition to school taxes already on the property?
Yeah, I think it's, for the school, I think it's 160,000.
160?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Not to help the budget.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience?
What's gonna happen to the buildings when this move happens over the years? You say you have somebody that's asked about this building, like the Lausch building.
Can you go back up there?
Oh.
It's hard to hear you.
Linda Pfister, 34 Beecher Drive again. When they built the Lausch building, they didn't consider building it 2 stories to make it bigger, and that was, again, another mistake. The foundation isn't strong enough. What's gonna happen to the buildings? When we do make the move, I think it's a smart move, but what's gonna happen to these buildings around here, like Lausch? I know it's probably gonna sit empty for quite a while, unless the doctor's office moves in.
Lausch is a school district. That's not a street.
Yeah, now it is,
Yeah.
so it won't be.
No, the school wouldn't come with us, just the township. Township and school are 2 separate governing bodies.
Oh, okay.
So the school wouldn't come up there, it would just be the
Oh, so the school
township.
administration will.
School would stay at Lausch, as yes.
Yeah, the township.
Yeah, with Dr. Phillips and his
That's great.
team.
I think it's a great idea, especially to have some kind of recreation area for. the
Yeah,
young
that's one of the
people.
things that this board has taken to heart, and we're trying to make. Now, it's not going to be like a giant spooky nook,
No,
but it's going to be.
but it's
something
better
that-
than Bruno's Pizza, like I said last week, you know, better than Bruno's. The kids need it.
Yeah, and they can walk from school, go to the community center,
That's great.
and go to
I
school.
graduated from second grade.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen. Who wants to make a motion?
Make a motion to accept the offer of Sparrowback Series, purchase the land.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Just clarify that it's subject to negotiations, right?
Subject, yeah, okay, finish the rest of that, subject to negotiations.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next new business, John, first quarter report.
Voting notice, one, you have a edited first quarter report from the board. The actual report will be posted on the website sometime this week. These are the list of the goals that the board adopted as part of the budget process for this year. They're pretty extensive, and the administration have been striving to address these goals as we move forward. The next page. Right. From the administration, which is the area that I'm most responsible for, we're working with a solicitor on getting the request for the PUC for sale of the wastewater system, working with the engineer and the contractor to address the needs at the wastewater treatment plant. We have a fair amount of correspondence with DEP and the insurance company on that issue. Working with a traffic engineer on the Streetscape Avenue project and the Gibraltar Road, Showboard Road improvements. We submitted a couple of applications. One is for park improvements, the other one is for library improvements that will be discussed later in this agenda. And last, we're working with the consultants. We've identified a new IT company, which is one of those things that you never need to do until you really need it. This was a change that we really needed, and they have brought a significant level of expertise to managing this important element of the township. I cannot overemphasize that. In the finance department, they have transitioned the tax billing service to an agency that will accommodate the homestead exemption. The county tax system cannot handle that. Your school bills are processed by a third party. We will use that same third party to present the township and the county real estate taxes. That is a big change that we are working on to try and get that going. They're continuing the fire and cleanup downstairs, which is an enormous task. They've evaluated credit card processors to obtain more competitive pricing to reduce our expenses. We're working on the fixed assets. They start later this week. They've implemented an electronic timekeeping system for all employees, and we're evaluating procurement vendors for best pricing available. We have started a centralized purchasing area. The phones and the IT equipment are all being done central right now, and that's beginning to save some significant savings. She's filed more than 24 federal and state forms at the end of the year. Everybody wants to know what you did last year. Working with the auditor, they will be in next week. And they implemented a new online payment system in December of last year, so you can pay your bill and set up for recurring payments. It is a 21st century thing to replace an 18th century payment system. I think that goes very well in terms of how the system is working here in the township. Laura, you want to do the recreation one?
Yep. Okay, so recreation department, these were, and some of you may recognize these that were here for the budget presentations, but these were the goals set by me for 2019. So I was looking to implement new online registration software for the Parks and Rec department, so that includes all facility rentals and all of our programs that that can be seen by everybody, and everything can be accessible online at this point. I was looking to update all of the rental procedures and fees, along with that first goal of updating the software was to update everything else that would go into the software, which included a complete review of everything that's been done in the past and who was using it and who needs to use it, and if the pricing structure was sufficient to cover costs, and in many cases it was found to not be. I was looking to, and I'm still looking to, add a program coordinator to help me accomplish all of these goals. I worked on am working on creating standard operating procedures for facility rentals. So again, that just goes into updating everything that hasn't been updated in a long time. Summer program, I was looking to rehab the entire program, which was done. Many of you have already seen the presentation on that, so I won't go into that very much. Another goal that I haven't gotten to quite yet is to establish a signature annual event for the township. So this is something that I'll be working on. We did just have the Easter egg hunt, but we're looking to do another larger scale event that I'm looking at likely in the fall. And to create some new events that are more focused on the health and wellness of our residents, getting out on the trail that I talked about earlier in our logo, and just doing more things outdoors to get the community together with us. Continue to work on the existing events. We have many events in this township that everybody considers flagship, and we do them every year, and that's great. So we want to continue to make sure we can hold those and make them bigger and better every year for everybody. I think we did that pretty well with the egg hunt this year. That one went pretty well. And another big thing that I'm looking to work on this year and have started on already is developing more partnerships with our local businesses to help us support these recreation programs that we don't always have all the funding for. We did really well, and we've got some really good contacts to help us pay for our events and to help us sponsor. I'm looking maybe for sponsorships for a summer program for next year. So that's something that I'll continue working on. So those are the goals. And so some of the things I've done already, recreation-wise, is we did implement the online recreation software. So all of our programs and facilities are now available to be rented directly on our website. We launched the summer program, and we'll be launching the sports programs in the next week or so. Summer program online registration went wonderfully. It's a lot easier. It allows us to have access to our rosters at our fingertips, which is just going to make the summer program much more organized this year and safer for kids and parents. We have immediate access to all of their information and parents if we need to contact a parent. So that's going to be really great for us this year. And I did identify, and again, many of you have already seen this, but I did identify many ways that we could save money on these programs. There was a lot of waste in the past. We've managed to make some changes to work better in our budget. All of the policies and procedures for rentals have been updated by me. We've got a new policy in place for nonprofit organizations to use our facilities. And so changing tune here, I also worked on, many of you probably remember this too, it feels like a lifetime ago, but the animal control issues in our township. We are still actively working on that, but that is something that fell under my department that I did work on. And John mentioned the grant applications that we're working on to do some much needed improvements to many of our parks to make them better and more accessible for everybody. And we've got a whole new maintenance plan in place for our sports field usage. I know that sounds super exciting, but it is for me. And along with that, we've had to deal with some, many of our parks do need improvements, and we identified some safety risks that were actually identified by our insurance company, which resulted in us having to make a lot of decisions on what to do and how to make sure our parks are safe for everybody who uses them. So that's something that's still in progress, but we were able to make some strides on improving our equipment and making sure that things are safe for everybody. And part of that is with Community Park, which is something that we'll talk about in a future meeting. Not tonight. That's it for recreation. But I've also got communications. So communications department, 2019 goal, launch a new website and logo. So you guys all saw that tonight. So I'm right on the way there. Part of the other goals for 2019 are just to continue developing relationships with the media and to build those bonds. This is a newly formed department here, so it's really important to build it from the ground up to make sure that we have support. Something else I'm looking to do in 2019, and you can all see, I mean, it's kind of demonstrated already. We've got a lot more people at our meetings here, but I'm looking to promote public participation and enhance our relationships so we can do more events that get us all together in the same place and talking so that we can all get everybody's ideas. Another thing for 2019 are the newsletters. Now I just have spring, summer, and fall on here because that's all that's left in 2019, but we'll be doing more newsletters than that. This is just for the balance of the year, and to continue to grow our social media presence. So far, the newsletter has been done. I did completely redo the township newsletter. We've got a new format. I am doing that myself. That's not being done by an outside company. You saw the new website layout and the township logo. I also work on existing content for our website currently that we're stuck with until 2 months from now when we can get our new one launched. And we've got all the Facebook pages. Hopefully many of you that are here follow those because we put a lot of good information out there, and that's one of the best ways for us to communicate with everybody. I did just also launch an Instagram page, so everyone go follow the Parks and Rec Instagram page because it's really cool. And I'm continuing to work on the local media content and putting out press releases, media releases, and everything just to make sure that everybody knows what's going on in the township. I think that's the end of it.
So the building and zoning department, we handle mainly, building, zoning, building code, fire code, quality of life. We also do landfill inspections, and handle a lot of the property maintenance files, and we're also a liaison to the planning commission. Some of our goals for 2019 are mainly technology based. We want to expand our GIS system and work on scanning and completing a bunch of our paper property files and subdivision files into our online system. We also are continuing to update our zoning ordinance, and we have successfully hired an assistant code enforcement officer. So we've been in contact with several permitting software providers and received some ballpark pricing for those. That'll be in the 2020 budget for implementation. The GIS system will also be implemented with that software, so that'll take a little workload out of that department and free up some people. Subdivision land development plans as well as building plans continue to come in. We've completed the Trout Run Master Plan and revised several zoning and saldo ordinances. Landfill inspections continue to be conducted on a monthly basis, and 248 permits were processed from January to March, and we're just picking up the busy season starting now in the last month, so it's a little hectic back there. But that's my presentation.
Okay, to start for our goals in 2019, we've been working quite a bit down at the Highland Park through the renovations. It's an extensive job that's going to take well into next year to finish it all. Another pavilion and restroom area will be added onto that, along with some new playground equipment, parking area, larger parking area, things like that. We're going to complete the walking trail at Lorraine Park. That is the part that will wrap around the detention pond that's over there. We already have that one large circle, and it will actually look like a big egg. So it'll be just about a mile long. The Butter Lane Bridge demolition, that's actually just, we're helping with it, but Joe's probably doing most of that one. The development and preventive maintenance for the HVAC systems is something that we're going to have, I believe, in the next meeting, actually. That is to take care of all the units in all our buildings, country club, here, magistrate, Dunn Farm, library, so we can get them all tied together on a regular maintenance system. We're going to be purchasing, or we received this grant for the recycling. It'll be 2 30-yard leaf loaders, 1 10-ton Mack truck, a 550 Ford dump truck,
Also, 2,000, we have 32-gallon containers for recycling for the residents. There's also some mailers in there for the educational part of it. That worked out pretty well for us. We got a pretty nice grant out of that. Expand the training and safety programs. Complete phase 2 of the street lights up in Reichton. That will be on the east side. We already did the lower section, so we will be going from the high school on 37th Street, 35th, 30, and Woodland, I'm sorry, yeah, Woodland. Those 3 streets will take care of that, and I believe there's also some on grant that I have to finish. Also, the MS4 program is, that's just an ongoing thing that we will be doing forever. So, taking care of your catch basins, waterways, runoff, anything like that. We have, now that we have the back truck, we can take care of a lot of that, cleaning up a lot of the catch basins this year. So those are our goals as far as that goes for this year. And our accomplishments, we worked diligently this winter, keeping roads cleared and safe. We had 14 winter weather events this year. We used 2,100 tons of salt and anti-skid. Again, this winter was a little bit better than last winter, but it's still more of the smaller snow and freezing than a lot of snow. The more snow you get, the less salting you gotta do. We started with the phase of the Highland Park renovation, which involves clearing of trees, scrub brush, grading the banks for better sight distance at the entrance. Again, that will be something that's going to go well into next year. We're going to complete the spring prep for the 5 baseball fields. That's been done. Some of it probably going to have to be done a little bit again over due to the fact of all this rain we've had. But other than that, they're ready to go. Street sweeping has been going on for about 3 weeks now. And he will be continuing. It will probably take him at least another month and a half before he gets finished with that. The new street sweeper works very well. It definitely cleans it up a lot better than the old one. It's a vac truck instead of a brush truck. But it is doing a nice job. And we appreciate that purchase. So, welded and fabricated repairs and vehicles and equipment. For about the last 2 months, one of our guys has been just about non-stop working on repairing cracked plows, anything that had to do with the winter. We have a lot of, it's just starting to, they stress out and they break and they crack. They don't totally just, fall apart, but they get stress cracks all over the place. So he's been very busy with that. We cleaned up a lot of the catch basins at Marywood and Development area, and all through Green Tree, we cleaned them all out. That took about 4 days alone, so, and those are pretty much our accomplishments for this year. Thank you.
All right, the goals for this year is evaluate the purchase of vehicles and equipment, and also looking at software to track the maintenance cost of each piece of equipment that we have owned. We currently have 152 licensed vehicles, not including all our equipment. Looking at implement a 5-year vehicle plan, so we can see what needs to be replaced sooner than later on a lot of things. Evaluate the equipment at the Reading Country Club that needs to be replaced. Like, for instance, we just purchased we're looking at purchasing a greens mower this week yet. We purchased 9 new tires for golf carts. We have another 11 more that we need to get for golf carts. And we are getting 5 engines replaced in 5 of the golf carts so We put together a fuel usage education program to minimize the fuels waste. And we also are looking to update the CDL training and compliance documentation. So we already did create the Excel spreadsheet for the CDL documentation and tracking. We implemented a no excessive idling on the vehicles, which in turn is saving fuel and also prolonging the life of the vehicles by now the Ford dealerships and all the dealerships want to go by idling hours, they don't want to go by miles. So by doing that, we are at a warranty sooner. We are evaluating what equipment we need in different areas. Like for instance, we purchased a new police truck. With that new police truck, it freed up another patrol vehicle for one, and for two, this officer can do all three of his jobs out of one vehicle. With moving vehicles around, for instance, we're going to be moving one of the trucks from a different department to the highway side, so therefore it eliminates the purchase of that. Plus, recently we did an auction on Municipid, and with that auction so far we sold 6 items, and I think we did pretty well with Municipid. I don't remember exactly the numbers on that.
$20,000.
With just some of the equipment that we sold. And we put together a work order for all our equipment, so every time someone comes in, like say they rated up for a light bulb, well, we don't just replace that one light bulb. We check all lights, we check all fluids, check tire pressure, we make sure everything's there, it's supposed to be there, so that they don't say, hey, since you changed the back bulb, the front bulb's out. So we eliminate that. And we also are putting together a pre-trip checklist for all the trucks and stuff like that before they would leave. Every truck would be getting checked and be noted of what is going on with that truck. And that's about it for fleet side. So now the safety side. We started a safety committee in August, and since then we actually got more people involved. We recently, at the last meeting, which was last Thursday, we voted in another person from the management side, which would Mike Rowe, which is the assistant highway superintendent. And we also got one of the police secretaries to be involved for the police department, which we were trying to do with more people, trying to get more people involved with that. We also been reviewing the divot. Divot comes out once a year and walks around to all our buildings and stuff like that, points out issues of safety concerns. And we've been taking care of that as their priority list, as an A, B, and just maintenance. That's all I have for the safety. We have 296 hours of employee training that we have done so far. We corrected 14 of the divot things that I just talked about. We turned in grant money. We asked for grant money to buy different things. Like for instance, we bought some of the vests for the police department for ballistics, I believe it was listed for, through our insurance company. We had 6 reported incidents. 4 of them were actual workman's comp claims. And we have to report everything within 72 hours. We recently had the fire extinguishers inspected, and we found out that some of them weren't even in compliance of what we have going on here, so we had to purchase new ones. We established a smoking area. It's not just for employees, it's for everybody that would come to the building, and it's in the upper lot for the simple fact of the cigarette butts and stuff like that laying around in different areas, and also no smoking in the building. We updated our suggestion box, and we included a safety committee email that when something's going on, everybody that's on the committee would receive an email. For the police department, there was an issue with between the 2 buildings where they would want a fenced off area so nobody can go in between there. We made sure we took care of that. We also lit up that area recently, and also in the parking garage. We turned the timer up on the motion detector from 30 seconds to 15 minutes, so it's lit up more and repaired 2 of the lights. We added downspout to the building that was added to the police department, for the simple fact is every time it rained, the last step would fill with water, and when it was cold weather, it was an icy condition, so we eliminated that. And then we do a monthly safety committee meeting.
Good evening, everyone. I'm in the process now, since I've started here, of completing a comprehensive review of the police department operations, policies, and procedures. Some of the things that I've noted here that of immediate concern is the vast majority of the administrative policies and procedures for the police department haven't been updated since 2013. A review and comprehensive update of the policies and procedures is needed to ensure the department is adhering to local, regional, and nationally recognized standards in law enforcement excellence. Policies and procedures in policing change on a regular basis. Some of the reasons could be case law, so it's important for the department to stay on top of the policies and procedures and making sure that they're up to date. Along with that, at one time the police department here was accredited. That accreditation has lapsed, so it's extremely important for me and for the members of the department to ensure that accreditation is obtained again. Accreditation ensures adherence to the highest standards of law enforcement profession. The accreditation process provides an opportunity for the department to provide consistent delivery of high-quality public safety services. Concurrent with this process, significant benefits will also be realized by the officers by increasing the officers' confidence, effectiveness, and efficiency in the police department. Accreditation will strengthen accountability within the department and the community through a continuum of standards that clearly defines expectations, performance, and responsibility. It will limit the department's liability and risk exposure because it demonstrates that internationally recognized standards for law enforcement have been met and independently verified. Social media, one of the things that I've noticed is we could do much better in the police department side of the house with our social media presence. Reviewing current social media platforms to ensure every opportunity is being utilized to spread the good word about the positive workings of the department. Also, I want to examine the current and available technology for improvement and efficiency in the department operations to include RMS, workflow, and paperless reporting. Along those lines, something that's very near and dear to my heart is community policing. Continuing community outreach, meeting with community groups, establishing crime watch programs here within the township, Shop with a Cop, Bigs and Blue, Coffee with a Cop, the Officer School Lunch Program, and other programs to improve community relations and outreach. Along with that, we have a meeting. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters program. Well, they offer a program for police officers where we are allowed to go into the schools and meet with at-risk, identified at-risk children. And again, it gives an opportunity for police officers to break down that barrier that might exist with some of these children. And it's a very positive program. Some of the local agencies here in the county are doing it. And I think again, it's nothing but a positive program for the department and for the children. So it's something that definitely I'm fond of, and we'll be implementing here in the near future. Just some of the first quarter numbers for you. Incident reports, again, this is just for the first quarter, 1,400 plus. Accident reports that our officers took, 148. Citations issued, 859. Parking tickets, 42. Total arrest for the quarter, 91. Total DUI arrest, 14. And we made 38 narcotics arrests for the first quarter. Yes, absolutely. We have on the country club, the amount of play this year is increased from the prior year, primarily due to weather. They lost 33 days due to snow cover. Bookings are greater this year than they were last year. There's 7 leagues playing this year. I think there were fewer than last year. This year we're operating the country club. We are doing some additional marketing, the Golf Now Marketplace. We're working out with some of the hotels in the area. They have golf packages. They will bring their customers who are staying there for an extended period of time and come after work and play at the country club. Doing some for email marketing, and the Facebook page has about 1,150 followers. I think the last several bullets there are marketing attempts to expand the footprint of the country club user, to try and bring more people who are in the region to the country club. One of the things that I'd like to bring up here, the full report will be on the web by the end of the week. The staff has done a tremendous amount of work in the first quarter. Expenses are at 25% of the budget, which is unusual, given the fact that we made a lot of debt service payments in the first quarter. That's a big chunk of change that we pay for. But what's really surprising is that revenues are 25% of the budget. Usually, it is the poorest quarter of the month where the real estate taxes go out in March. Housing sales are down because nobody wants to sell a house in January. But I'm impressed by the level of activity that is geared by economics. Building permits are up significant. Earned income tax is up a little bit. Deed transfer tax is up. So the economy in the township is doing very well because it reflects in those numbers, and it's reflected that the 25% of the revenue that was budgeted came in the first quarter, and that is highly unusual. So I feel very comfortable we'll have a very good year as the year progresses.
I just want to echo John's comments. I know a lot of people say, where do my taxes go? What does the township do all day? So I think you guys see a lot of the things that are being done. We have a great team here, led by John. I think a lot of the private sector experience has helped to kind of corporatize I always like to say, corporatize the government. So I think we have the best team of anybody in the county. And I just think that they all presented very well, and they all hold accountability to their teams, which is why our expenses are down. So I just want to give a round of applause to the staff that works here every day, that does a great job for the residents of the township. And you can see a lot of things that I keep bringing up, that the things that we're trying to fix. You can see some of the police stuff that hasn't been fixed since 2013. So I just want to thank the staff on behalf of the Board of Supervisors and John. And I guess great job. Any other, Vinny or Dave? Approved resolution.
Just have a comment
get
about
at the
the
end.
Easter egg hunt.
Oh.
Just that it was very well put together, and the township residents do appreciate that hard work that the team put together, so I
Thank
do
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you for the comment. Great job. Lori does a phenomenal job with her team. Next, John, approved resolution. Oh, you guys helped stop them. I was sick with a cold. I had a cold, so I stayed home.
We could have put 5 pieces of chocolate each egg to get rid of a gold.
Next, approved resolution authorizing submission of grant application for improvements to the library.
Mr. Chairman, as far as where the township owns the library building, it is at the point where it needs some renovation work. There's a state grant program through the Department of Education that'll provide a 50% grant for a number of improvements. We've identified, working with the library board and the executive director, improvements to the HVAC system, the security system, LED lighting, both interior and exterior, improved handicap accessibility, improved flooring in the child area. Some of it's carpeted. They want to replace the carpet with vinyl. When you think about that, you'll understand why. And tinting of windows for energy savings. The total cost is $311,030. The library has received a contribution of $25,000, which will be counted toward the local match. So the township's match, which will be budgeted next year, subject to the grant, is $130,515. And I think that for that investment, and the usage that goes to the library. This is a very significant project and one that the administration would recommend the board approve.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that. Any further discussion?
Aye.
All those in favor say, I would just want to say, Jason, I know you do a good job with the library board, so. This will, oh, you resigned.
Thanks for bringing up that.
That's a personal memory. I left when I was on terms.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, John, appoint board member to the committee for the employee pension fund.
Each pension fund needs a oversight committee. The employee pension fund, which covers management employees, there is not a board member on that committee. I appreciate if the board could appoint someone to that committee.
I'd like to nominate Dave Spees for appointment of board member to the committee for the employee pension fund. The retired guy.
Can it be changed if it, at any time?
We change it anytime.
Okay, then I will, no offense, Dave.
I don't do a good job.
Well, just saying in case you know, we got some newbies coming up. You know.
Don't do that.
Will you second?
I will second that, yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations, Dave. Next, John, Township Planning Commission Annual Report.
The board has received the board has received the annual Township Planning Commission report, and it would be appropriate to accept the report.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Department reports. Do you have anything you want to add, Clarence, besides what you?
Well, Clarence, can you just, that one resident was asking about the water, they had somebody videotaping, like behind us up on Wood. Remember, I was asking him before the meeting, the one resident said there was a lady videotaping, so if you just expand on that.
Do you want to explain what it is?
The one resident, I guess, behind me, you know, they were videotaping up Woodland, and they said that they were doing it for like a pre-construction video, and I asked Clarence, he said, yeah, they're gonna be replacing, I guess, a water main going up that way. You know, it's not part of the highway department project, I guess.
Something weird. I know they did that one call.
I believe PA American each year budgets so many dollars to update and upgrade their water main. We've seen it every year in the township.
Okay. Yeah, they were just
It's one of their maintenance programs.
Yeah, they were just alarmed because they live in a dead end road, and someone's come up videotaping the houses and everything. They were like, but you said that that's standard now, that you want them videotaped.
Yeah, because if they don't, and then a lot of damage later.
Pre-existing conditions, and they have video documentation. Here, it's helpful.
Thanks. Chief, do you want to add anything?
Yes, just a quick update from the police department side of the house. Last Thursday, we had a commercial vehicle safety detail here at the police department. We had all commercial vehicles exit 422 westbound here at Fair Lane come up behind the police department. We had 15 different agencies present for the detail. We inspected 132 commercial vehicles during the time frame that the detail ran. Issued $8,247 in fines and 42 traffic citations. So it was a really successful detail. I'm really proud of the guys. They worked pretty hard at it and did for about 8 hours on last Thursday. In addition to that, we had significant arrests at a residence along Lehigh Avenue here in Township. Received complaints of possible narcotic sales at a residence along there. Our department, along with the county task force, executed a search warrant at the residence there and seized crystal meth, cocaine, marijuana, mushrooms, some money and some scales. So, you know, I'm sure the residents there will appreciate that. That was taken care of. So that's it. yes, no, so Saturday we have a, yes, we did have a bowling event last Saturday as well, to benefit the K-9 program here, which was pretty successful. And of course, tonight at the Dairy Queen as well, we have an event there. So, and one of the things I'm really proud of when I came here is just the overall support the community has for the police department here. It's really refreshing and it's good to see. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chief.
Just an update. We're continuing to perform the design of the Butter Lane Bridge removal as well as the Butter Lane Culvert project. We did complete our self-digs for the utilities. We do have a lot of utilities that are going to need to be relocated, so that's been proceeding accordingly. We completed the mapping of the Trout Run area, and we're in a position where we can start environmental studies that'll take place shortly. Overall, everything else is proceeding accordingly. Anybody has any questions? I'd answer questions.
About Neversink, I mean, I saw that they're coming up on their due date. Any word on that?
Oh, at Neversink, I have not heard any update. I know there was an article in the newspaper over the weekend. However, I did not get any indication from Norfolk, Southern, nor DEP officials on the status of the project. At this point, we're still sticking with the deadline that's been in the PUC consent. I think at this time.
It's been filed to extend it at this point, so.
And we haven't gotten any notification from the PUC that a time extension has been filed. We should hear, we'd be the first ones to hear, but we have not received any other
Would they have to be
update.
done by, I mean, they must have like genie seals if they're gonna get.
They're required to be done this June to have all the improvements that have been agreed upon. Painted sky, the culvert, the relocation of the intersection, the lowering of the road, all has to be done, and I apologize, I'm not sure what date in June, but it is this June of this year.
June
30th, I believe it was, the end of the month. So they're still obligated to meet that deadline, but
Do you think that
I would say
be realistic?
very low odds at this point. I think even if they started tomorrow, I think it would be cutting it close. I mean, it's not a long project, but based on the fact that we're approaching May and the deadline's in June, that only leaves you about 2 months.
It's over $1 million worth of work, so.
Yes. It's a substantial amount of work. It can be done probably in a couple months, but it is a lot of work to be done. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer, and every time we have difficulty getting an answer from Norfolk.
You know, the problem is we deal with PUC lawyers primarily, and they claim ignorance as to what's going on with DEP, so that's what I'm told of, so. We've asked, we continue to monitor the dockets.
We received some
There's an update.
conflicting reports, but we have never got, I mean, the person I've been dealing with, DEP, hasn't heard anything, but then we're hearing that they have permits, but we'd be the first ones to hear it, but we haven't gotten anything back. Unfortunately, I don't have any good news to report on that subject matter.
Thanks, Joe. You could submit a right to know request. Seriously. Find out what they've submitted. Well, we did have an executive session before the meeting tonight to discuss the dispute at the PUC over that I've reported on in prior meetings over the service to the 29 residents in Lower Alsace and a possible resolution there, and we also discussed the GMH matter.
Thank you. Go ahead. 2 public comments. Joan Adams, is she still here?
Whiter Adams?
Yeah,
Yes.
you want to get up and speak, please?
Okay, just give me a minute.
Joan Whiter Adams, 412 West 48th Street. I've been in the township since 1955. I graduated in 1958. And actually, I was born in Reading, went to the Reading schools, and in the 1940s, they had a train come around to Outer Station. And we would take class trips to there to see the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the things that made our country great. We're quite removed from that, but you know, it's really important as to what's going on in the country today, because there's people getting into government that are supporting alien laws and stuff that shouldn't be in. I got on the YouTube platform because I didn't believe I was getting enough information from the current things. So I decided now at this point that because of that going on, I was going to come down and see what was going on within our township. And since I've been here for a long time, I was really glad to find out that we're not in some of those areas that it's like changing so fast for the bad. We still got a flag there, and we're still doing, you know, saluting our flag. As you are actually doing so many things in the township, I have seen this township change. Fegley's, where I used to turn on 47th Street, it was hard to even turn the corner. But with all the building going on, like for instance Target and the new shopping center in there, you guys nailed it, because I couldn't figure out how you were going to work the traffic pattern. And it turned out fantastic. I mean, you used to have to take that corner at Fegley's, you have to watch what you're doing or else you're going to run over the curb. So the thing is, you know, last time I was here, which is the first time I came to your meeting, which was the last time, I was really impressed with what you are all talking about. You guys are doing a great job. You really are. And the other thing is...
Say that louder.
The other thing is, yeah, they're doing a great job. The other thing I saw is that this township has a lot of opportunity. And I just happened on, I punched into Google Exeter Township, and it came up with this plan that you guys were working on in 2016, called the Exeter Township Town Center and Waterfront Master Plan. And I thought, holy mackerel, this, you know, you guys are doing a lot of stuff. You know, it takes a concerted effort, and as I come here, I see that you are working together, and I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with our new chief of police, and I was impressed with all the policemen that were here at your last meeting. I couldn't believe it. They were just great. I walk in, I'm shaking everybody's hand. I'm thinking, my God, we have a really neat police force here. And I'm thinking to myself, because I'm loaded with ideas. That's one thing I have. I have a lot of ideas. A lot of old ladies would love to have the photograph taken with even one of the police. They would drop $20 for a minute to be with one of those police guys and have their photograph taken.
Hey now.
What the heck, you can pass it around, you know? I would like to see something like the Freedom Train done here also. Even if it's in a place like the old Blockbuster, for instance, where the school kids could come and look at those copies of documents. And I know the Berks County Genealogical Society has been having a problem because of costs of rent of their genealogical society and the Goggle Works. I would bet if you would make a place for genealogy where the school kids could come and be volunteers with a genealogist, have probably banks of computers where you would get free ancestry. I mean, all these kids could walk there and they would be able to pick up on why our country was so important in 1776 to do this. And so in order not to come up with any more ideas, like I say, I'm loaded with them. Of course, my husband would have said something in addition, but since he's gone, I'm not going to say nothing on that, on that point. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your wonderful comments. Carl? Name and address, please.
Carl Schoenberg, 207 Lisa Lane. A couple quick comments that we discussed tonight. when you buy that shopping center, have you ever heard of the on-street connected?
Yeah.
Any chance of getting that done? It's a thought.
We'll see.
Blockbuster would be gone. And then that thing with the train bridge on Neversea Road or King Sky Road down there, can't they put a light like they have in Birdsboro for one-lane pass underneath for cars?
The Neversink, you mean, what we just talked about?
Yeah,
It's actually a clearance issue,
not for cars though, is it?
not for cars, but for trucks. At Norfolk, we can't take the chance that a truck goes in there and gets,
Not only that, there's an issue with the safety of the structure overall right now.
if it gets damaged or a vehicle gets stuck, Norfolk, it's still their jurisdiction.
It's Norfolk structure, and what they said was.
So I mean, Birdsboro's been that way for.
No, but I understand what they said.
I understand what
was
you're
starting to
saying.
fall off, so.
And what you're talking about.
Trying to figure out-
Unfortunately, this is more of a structural issue and a safety issue that's why that type of configuration could
The
be.
shopping center, back to that promenade shopping center, is Healthways, that building, is that empty?
No.
There's a tenant there.
It's occupied? Can't buy that too? Then it's all one. They have to use your parking lot to get to it, don't they? It's a thought. Now, the question I'm here for, I asked for a breakdown of John Granger's wages a couple weeks ago. And then under miscellaneous comes up $60,000, miscellaneous.
Yeah, the bonus, you mean?
It doesn't say bonus. It says, you want a copy of it?
No, I don't need it.
Well, it says, well, his bonus should be up to 25,000, or 25%, or 25,000 in his contract. But this is 60,000 in miscellaneous. Fringe benefits are $9,000. It says $69,000, I wanted to get broken down.
Yeah, 29,610 was for 2017, and then 2018 was 36,774.
No, this is for 2018,
Yeah, that's what I just read you.
okay? What did you just,
2017,
I
29,610.
don't care about 2017.
No, but part of 2017 compensation was paid in the beginning of 2018, so it looks like double.
Yeah. He paid the 2018 bonus in 2018. The 36,774.
So the 36,000 of that 60 is from 2017.
No, that's the 2018. Was paid in 2018.
Yeah.
2018 was paid in 2018.
2017 bonus.
2017 was paid in 2018, yes.
60,000.
Correct.
What's the fringe benefits for $9,000? I mean, it breaks down his vacation and stuff on there, but what's the fringe benefit of $9,000? It's a lot of money.
I'll have to look at it.
Want to see it?
No, I haven't.
All right, can I get a breakdown of that, of what the 60,000 is?
I don't know what you have to.
All I have is,
I'll look at it.
looks like a pay stub.
I'll look at it at the end of the meeting.
Okay,
All right.
that's it.
All right, thanks, Carl. Ms. Vlasic, do you want to just talk about the meeting you had with Mr. Granger, please, before we adjourn? I will.
Pat Vlasak, 211 Rugby Road. You took me by surprise. The other day, myself, Kim McKeown, and Janet Hurlbrink, we approached, we had a meeting, we requested a meeting with John Granger, and he was very nice and accepted to have a meeting with us. And the main purpose of the meeting was to discuss the country club and what things we might be able to do voluntarily, how to find volunteers, and how to have the community get involved with continuing the upkeep and maintenance, and how to get involved with not having it go away. So that's, and it was very productive. And I don't have my notes.
That's okay.
Okay, but basically it was, hold on a second. John, do you have anything else to add?
Well,
Please.
You're right, I thought it was a very productive meeting.
Yes, it was.
We discussed a wide range of things, and why the township was doing certain things, and why we felt it was not appropriate to do certain other things because of the potential liability or risk to damage to the building.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's better not to do anything in order to preserve the building's integrity, that's what.
Yeah,
So-
we were talking, specific, all one of the things was with the restaurant.
Yes.
And that came into why anyone just couldn't go in and do work there or be part of it, that it needed to be within the township.
Right.
Yeah. And we also requested, or we were willing to find work or volunteers to assist with the maintenance and doing things,
We'll have a list to you
on the
by the end of the
golf course.
week.
Oh, I hope so, okay.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for stepping up as part of the community. I called out Mr. Aarons last week too.
Oh.
He made his comments and I said, hey, you're gonna help with the country club now. You're gonna
Yeah.
be raking the sand trap, so he's gonna be involved too.
Oh, that's wonderful, yeah, we're all ready to go.
Excellent,
So,
thank you.
And I apologize.
That's okay. I caught you by surprise, no problem. Supervisor reports, Vinnie?
No, I think everything was great so far. I think the website is grounded, so happy everything's rolling along, and I think there's a lot of great things that we're all working together on. And so I'm excited for the interviews on Wednesday as well. That's it.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I'm certainly looking forward to a functioning, informative website. Just want to thank the staff for pulling that together, the first quarter report and everything. A lot of work's been done, plans are in place. Looks like we're delivering, so keep it up.
So I'm just gonna plug our May Days event, May 10th, May 11th, since there won't be a meeting before then. We'll have fireworks, May the 11th. Great community event on Friday, Saturday. I know Vinny's gonna have a table, Michelle is, to learn about your candidates, learn about your voters. A lot of the school board candidates are gonna be there, so get to know your candidates, get to know your current supervisors, your potential supervisors, and come listen to some exciting music and exciting fireworks at the end of the night, as well as several other exciting surprises and a lot of cool stuff. So hopefully most of the public can make it out at the high school, May 10th, May 11th. You're gonna go in the dunk tank.
I already did.
Real quick, the art show that John, he did an interview for the Brighton, and that's what, May 2nd.
Excellent.
So, I want to try and get with Mr. DeWalt and Lori that we can actually go in and maybe see the last stage of what the kids are designing and stuff like
Awesome.
that. I did report that to the school board at the one meeting to let them know that we're working collaborative together. All right.
And John.
Happenstance would be that members of the Dunn family rented out the Dunn Center to have a birthday party. They graciously donated $1,465 to support the activities there. We will use that money to do some landscaping between the library and the Dunn Center, and we will put a plaque there in honor of Janice Dunn. I thought that was a very nice gesture on the part of the family.
Excellent. Yeah, extend our behalf from the board.
They will all get a letter written by the chairman, his job, thanking them for that aspect, and I'll give you the letters on Wednesday.
It's fine. Just, I'll sign. Motion to adjourn?
No, public comment yet.
I did call the comments.
I didn't sign in.
All right, just you,
Let me in.
you and then we're done.
Glenn Hoover, 1080 Acres, Birchburg. First, I'd like to thank the whole authority here that did the preparation for the budgets. When you gave us those booklets, that was fantastic. And your presentation tonight, John, was very good. For 19 years I've come here and I've listened faithfully. When you give the treasurer's report, somebody jumps up, yeah, okay, the treasurer's report, subject to audit. The unfortunate thing is being a resident here, for 19 years, I never knew what you okayed. But when you got in trouble, bam, these things started to surface. I feel there should be some way, as a concerned taxpayer, that I have the privilege to see what you okayed. And not have to go to the extreme of every meeting, I gotta fill out a form for a right to know to get the treasurer's report. And I don't think it's fair. I think right now,
The
I think
treasurer's report will be posted on the website after.
I don't have a computer.
Okay, it'll be made available in the public, you should come to the building afterwards.
Well, in all due respect to you, because I respected what you did, and it's fantastic. And I think, I look further on down
down the road. I'm not gonna be here, neither's gonna be John. But people will be aware and have some knowledge as to what's going on. Because after it happens, it's too late. And I think you did a fantastic job, even educating me after 19 years of listening. You know, one other thing that bothers me right now is we don't have anybody reporting on the waste treatment plant. Okay, we used to get an update periodically in here. And I know we've had some ungodly repairs down there. You had an approval by the board for $92,000 to repair the pumps. I go to the advisory meeting down at the landfill, I have no idea how many pumps are fixed. Is the dryer working? You know, I have no idea, and I'd like to share the information with them. It's only fair.
All right.
I mean, there's somebody down here managing now, right?
Yes, I'll make sure it's a monthly.
I mean, just like an update somewhere, you know, so if they ask the questions, so we know.
Get the answers.
Because they put some questions to me, because we have a problem down there with the meter. And it's my understanding it wasn't correct.
I thought it was.
I did too, I took your word for it, but we had our last meeting, and we get into discussion, and the landfill manager said to me, no, Glenn, that's not done. So I said, okay, I'll get the information that I can. I tried to hook up with you before the meeting, but I know you were busy. And I'm not above, I don't like to play phone tag, call you once, and that's it. I'm retired, I know, but like I say, I'd like to share the information.
All right.
We'll take care of it.
I'll look into it tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely have it with a monthly report.
I thought it was done. I'm sorry.
We always did, we always had it, and we also knew when certain ones weren't paying their account. And I mean, it's food for thought. I think we shouldn't have to go that way. Okay? Thank you, and I need to hook up with you for one meeting, one day.
Okay, no problem.
You let me know when you can, because I'm retired. I don't want to take a whole day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hoover.
Stop by after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hoover.
Thank you.
As always, motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. Thank you, everyone.